Good to see him there. Alessio Chiodi is there, 101 as well. Number 3 is Pedro Tractor now. Alessio Chiodi and Pedro Tractor are having a good little battle. Lovely scenery in the back here, the foothills of the volcanic mountains. An extraordinary place to hold a motocross round, really. Very dodgy sort of part of the world, to be honest. Guatemala, full of bandits and very attractive, colourful country, wonderful people, but awful political problems here at the moment, although the scenery is wonderful and some of the villages up in the mountains are quite extraordinary to visit. Of course, the fabrics from Guatemala are really the in thing in the fashion world at the moment. But back to motocross, Joachim Karlsson takes it from Dave Strivers. Greg Albertine manages a third there. Peter Vera manages fourth. Andrea Bartolini fifth. Alan Boland only a sixth. And out of the Chiodi and Leon Gisper's battle, Leon Gisper's managed seventh and Alessio Chiodi managed eighth. On to the third heat. We don't hang about here as they zoom into that first corner again. We can take a look. That's Karlsson, number 11, going first into the corner. Peter Berry is there. Tyler Boland's made another good start. No fallers on this third heat. Greg Albertine is there as well, but look, Tyler Boland in the lead. And there's Albertine, 10, well placed. They're all quite well sort of spread out, aren't they? 14 is Gerald Sweeber. Frederick Viala's made up for his fall in that second heat, and he's making good time at this stage as well. So Peter Berra is moving sort of back down the field a bit at the moment. 5 is Andrea Bartolini. Pedro Tractor really hasn't been able to get high in any of these heats at this stage, and that's really going to affect his World Championship standings, as it will if Albertine doesn't win one of these heats. He's got to sort out. Albertine has had a third, we saw last time, and a fourth. Peter Barra is out. And is he going to be able to extricate himself from those spectators and that fencing there? Well, we'll find out, I suppose, when we see what the checkered flag is all about. Okay, Greg Albertine chasing Talon Boland very, very hard now. That's his more like him. Andrea Bartolini and Dave Stribos having a good little battle. Lots of nice battles here. Gerald Sweeber and Frederick Val are having a battle. And Joachim Karlsson is snapping at their heels. There goes Stribos. There goes Bartolini. Look at him. Tractor, Vial, Schreiber, Karlsson, and Chris Young as well. The other American rider, he's having a good third heat here. It's great to see a pack like that providing such exciting racing here. So, Boland is in the lead. And it looks like Albertine is second at this stage, and it looks as if he's going to hang on to it. I don't think he's going to catch Talon Boland. Stribos and Bartolini are having a wonderful battle there. And well, we saw Stribos actually chucking something away there. I thought it was a pull-off, but it would look more substantial than that. It might have even been his goggles. Talon Boland takes the checkered flag. Greg Albertine comes second, a good finish for him. Dave Stribos, let's see if he's wearing goggles. Can't really see, can we? And let's have a look at that then. Andrea Bartolini fourth, Pedro Tractor fifth. With some two-wheeled action now as we move to Mill in Holland for the next round of the World Championship 125 Grand Prix Motocross Championship. And it's an important day for Greg Albertine, because today, if he manages to produce the goodies in all three heats, he could clinch the World Championship. This event, of course, being brought in to substitute for the cancelled Brazilian event. And it's Stribos and Tractor really the two men who could make it difficult today for Greg Albertine. Let's have a look at those points. So Greg Albertine needs 60 points to make sure of clinching the championship today. So let's have a chat with Tractor first of all. Well, he said he was going all right at the beginning of the season, but I don't know. I haven't been able to get everything together for the rest of the season. I'm not really going 100%. My starts haven't been too good. So there's the man who's leading at the moment, fairly relaxed. Dave Stribos, second at the moment, but he knows he's got to look for a bit of luck, I think, if he's going to be able to sort out that young South African who's going so well at the moment. So let's move on with the first heat. And let's see who gets the best starts and manages to keep out of trouble here. And you can already see John van der Berg with a very good lead, and Remy van Rees, number 12, hot on his heels there. 23 is Tom van Grimsen. Now then, let's have a look at Pedro Tractor. Didn't have such a good start. He's in about 7th position. And our British boys, Craig Prattley. Well, Craig Prattley's way back to 16th position at the moment. And Kelly Swanson, 18th position at the moment, so not going too well. And Matthew Gordon has had an absolutely diabolical start. He's way down something like 30th position, so Matthew Gordon with it all to do. Those are our British riders. Meanwhile, let's look back up the front end. Albertine is well placed, and although Remy van Rees is having a good ride at the moment, he's moved ahead of John van der Berg. Pedro Tractor now moving his way back up through the field. So he's in 5th place and taking it carefully, not wishing to get into any problems. These two guys for Tractor, and that's Remy van Rees who goes through there. And he's had a bit of a fall as that man. And it's rough and bumpy here. The guys having to pick their lines, and they're choosing such different lines. You see the two of them going through, they're completely different lines. Tom van Grimsen is going really well, and Tractor's trying to take him around on the outside. And as they come around, as Tractor's got him, Pedro Tractor moves up into 4th position now. So that's on lap 10, and we've just got 14-lap race, of course. Strybos not really doing too well at all, but we're all keeping our eyes open for number 10, Greg Albertine, on his Honda, because there he is now. And my word, they're producing some extraordinary lap times. Chiodi is out of it here. They're lapping at in excess of 50 kilometers an hour, and on the very last lap, Albertine moves into the lead and takes the checkered flag. Ahead of John van der Berg, ahead of Pedro Tractor. Dave Strybos is way back in 7th position on the first heat. So all going according to plan for Greg Albertine on this first heat. Our boys, Craig Prattley, 16th. Kelly Swanson, 17th. Matthew Gordon was out on lap 6. Now then, John van der Berg and his problems he got on his leg when he was in Guatemala, still giving him aggravation. He can hardly lift his leg. He's feeling very tired. He's in a lot of pain. Well, welcome back to Mill in Holland for the second heat. And now then, we're looking at Greg Albertine again. He managed to win that first heat, so he's well on the way to clinching his championship. But as they come through there, you can very clearly see who's out there in front. That's Remy van Rees, number 12. And if we have a look at that, you've then got John van der Berg, second. Pedro Tractor gets a much better start this time. He's in 3rd. Strybos gets a much better start. He's in 4th. Greg Albertine, who goes past the camera there, is in 5th place at the moment. And our boys, well, pretty similar sort of start for Craig Prattley, to be honest with you. He's way down in about 20th, and an absolutely appalling start for Matthew Gordon again, way down in 33rd. So let's look at the front runners at the moment. I don't think we're going to see many Union Jacks flying across the line at the end, but real question is whether Greg Albertine can clinch the championship here at Mill in Holland. In a way, I kind of hope he won't, because it'll make it much more exciting when we go to Japan for the next leg. And as you can see there, Remy van Rees took 1st place. Pedro Tractor took 3rd. Greg Albertine managed 3rd place, ahead of Dave Strybos. And of course, a problem here for John van der Berg.
200 voor het einde, toen sloeg hij vlot.
He said they've got a big problem here.
In positie staan.
It was about the 10th lap.
Maar dat deed ontzettend pijn.
And I had it all tied up, but on the 10th lap I had problems and I had to jack it all in basically. How about Strybos? Well, it's really not going the way I'd like it to. I'm absolutely knackered, he says. I've got no strength left at all. So, Pedro Trachter is in second, but Greg Albertine is 55 points clear, and we reckon he needs 60 points to clinch the championship. So let's move straight on to Heat 3 and see how we get on now. Greg Albertine, so much pressure on this young man. You see him coming in there. Greg Albertine in the lead. And that's, he's so good. He's come right this season, spot on target. Greg Albertine up there. Strybos might not have any, might tell us he hasn't got any strength and reserves left, but he's out there now, look, way out in front. And Albertine is now third. So a good start by Strybos and the rest of the team cruising through there. Craig Prattley managing 14th on this first lap. Remy van Raes has now moved into the lead, and there's real chop and change up the front end here in Holland in this penultimate round of the World Championship 125cc motocross. All eyes on Greg Albertine, but everyone getting a good view of Remy van Raes coming over the hill there. And there's Strybos, and there's Albertine third. So Strybos has found some reserves from somewhere, and it looks as if he's putting together a really good third heat. So, Remy van Raes on his Kawasaki, being chased by a pair of Hondas, as you can see there, and there's a couple of Suzukis in the running as well. But now the challenge is on. Greg Albertine is hungry for that World Championship, and he's chasing Dave Strybos like there's no tomorrow. Now watch these two riders, indisputably the best two riders with the best equipment in the world at the moment. And there's somebody with a big problem, and that, of course, is Remy van Raes, who's got the two best riders in the world right up his exhaust pipe, chasing him hard, and he daren't look over his shoulder. Pedro Trachter in fourth position, and his Suzuki, well, it's going okay, but it's no match for these two as Greg Albertine moves into the lead on the 11th lap. He's timed it absolutely perfectly now, and you can see he starts to go past Remy van Raes with a big problem, and it looks like a puncture. So Greg Albertine clinches the third heat. Strybos comes second, Trachter third, Talon Volen fourth, and Remy van Raes limps across the line in fifth position with a flat rear tyre, and a great shame for him, but you'll never guess what. We've just done our calculations. Right, let's get on and have a look at this. Donny Schmidt, 399 points. Alessandro Puzar is second in the standings. Bob Moore is third in the standings. Now, if you have a look at the points table, it means Schmidt, Puzar, Moore and Parker all have a chance of the championship. Schmidt hurt himself in training. He's determined to go out there today and clinch the World Championship. And you've obviously got to look carefully at the relative positions between Schmidt, Puzar and Moore. Maybe Parker, but he's quite a long way behind. Puzar is 87 points behind. They're off on their first heat, and Moore is 91 points behind, and a big tumble there, and I think there's a British rider in there. Yes, Eastwood, 79, has gone down. The other British riders are okay. Paul Cooper's away, Paul Mallin's away, James Dobb is away, and Rob Herring is well away, doing extremely well at the moment. So let's see whether the pain-killing injections will get Schmidt through this. There he is, look, he's in 15th position at this stage. And he's really, I mean, he can wait until Japan, but I'm sure he'd like to get it all over with today. He had such a problem last year with injury that he had to give up his challenge to the title. And this year he has been just dominating the racing. From all that time ago, it seems a long time ago, doesn't it, when it all kicked off in Valkenswaard and then went to Payerne in Switzerland, then across to Austria and Schwanenstadt, and then down to Gallarate in Italy, and then on to Germany and Nordheim, over here to the UK in a Foxhill Park, then Calinchi in the Emerald Isle, and Marrakech and Unadilla, then Tibro, and now here in Heinola. Donny Schmidt working his way up through the field, and you can see a dominating rider he is, but he's in real pain, we know that, and he's having problems in this first heat. So, Edwin Evertson there. And it gets a bit muddly because we've got Edwin Evertson and Stefan Everts. And Everts is now in the lead ahead of Evertson. Two totally different machines, of course, the Suzuki of Everts and the Kawasaki of Evertson. Meanwhile, Rob Herring is going extremely well. Keep your eyes open for the Honda rider, the British Castrol Honda team. They're so proud of him this year. He's been going so well, as has our own Jamie Dobb on Kawasaki. And there's Tony Broberg out of it, in not a very good place to be out of it, but at least the riders aren't going too fast there. 4,500 crowd, and Rob Herring moves into second place. And they're so pleased with his performance, and he's so pleased with his machinery this year. And we can see how Parker, who started, not Parker, getting muddled, Schmidt, who started way back in 15th position, is now starting to cream through the field. Stefan Everts hasn't had such a good season this year. Lots of high hopes for him from the Suzuki team at the beginning of the season, but he hasn't really realized those hopes at all. There's Edwin Evertson. And Rob Moore is dropping back now. I think he's back to 4th or 5th position at this stage. James Dobb is up there in the top 10. He's running around 7th or 8th. Axel Holbert goes over. And Hel Janko, the Finnish rider, the two of them are muddled up there. But a brilliant win for young Stefan Everts and a superb second place for Rob Herring. Malik Barefoots gets 3rd. Bob Moore gets 4th. Donny Schmidt, look right down there. That's why we're showing you in 10th position now. Let's have a look at this point situation. That is wrong. That points should be 405 for Donny Schmidt, not 450. 405. And that means that Moore is now 84 points behind Schmidt. And talking about behind, all right, I shouldn't be sexist. Pouzar is 86 points behind. So now then, Schmidt has got to keep an eye on Moore. If he just hangs around behind Bobby Moore and holds that position, he'll be all right. But I think he'll try and do better than that. And he can then clinch the World Championship in this heat. Of course, the other positions in the World Championship are still up for grabs, so they'll be battling on. Mike Healy is not a happy budgie this year. He's in front at this stage, but there's an awful lot of rumouring going around that Suzuki aren't happy with him, he's not happy with them, and there could be a parting of the ways at the end of the season. But look at this, Rob Herring for the Castrol Honda British team is out in front and way out in front, really hitting his form at this end of the season and looking really good at the moment. Mark Eastwood is going well, James Dobb, they're all up there in the top 10 at this moment. Now, Donny Schmidt had a lousy start, but he's in 5th position at the moment. And if he can hold that sort of position, his championship should be clinched. I hope that isn't a kiss of death on him. Should be clinched in this heat of the World Championships. Now, Bobby Moore is 3rd. Then Evertson, then Schmidt. And if we hold the positions as they are at the moment, and who's that? Pouzar is out. So it's now just Moore and Schmidt that have to worry. There goes Rob Herring riding a brilliant race. He's so far in front of Stefan Everts. I'm not quite sure what he's done in his fuel tank. It's an extraordinary lead. Then there's Edwin Evertson. Then there's Bobby Moore, number 81, and right behind him is Donny Schmidt. Now, Donny Schmidt just has to keep his eye on Moore and make sure that these relative positions remain between him and Moore, and he can take the checkered flag and know that he's the champion. But I don't think we should let all this excitement about the World Championship take away the brilliant ride that Rob Herring is having at the moment. The camera's on him now. There's no one else in sight as this Honda rider cruising round the last bend and goes to take the checkered flag. And I must say the Suzuki rider, Mark Eastwood, has done well. He's in 6th position and James Dobb is in 9th position. 3 British riders in the top 10. Checkered flag goes out for Stefan Everts in 2nd place, Edwin Everton 3rd, Robbie Moore 4th, and Donny Schmidt, the new world champion, in 5th position. So he crosses the line, looks behind him, pumps. He's forgotten all about the pain, all about the anguish. He is the new 1992 250cc world champion, embracing his father, his girlfriend waiting on the sidelines too, and just a superb performance by Donny Schmidt after going to hospital after practice. He's cracked it, and to use a cliche, he's over the moon. And look at these scenes now. I don't know whether we'll get a chance to talk to him, but I know we're going to try and have a chat with his girlfriend in a minute. There she is, look. All the support she's given him, 11 Grand Prix, injuries, mechanical problems, intense competition from the likes of Everts and Moore and Alexandra Poussard, who's been going so well. Trampus Parker, who's out of it in this particular event, but the Honda team
Did you take a shower?
Yeah, with champagne.
Here she is, look.
How does that feel?
Pretty good. It still hasn't hit me yet, but looks like it's hit Donnie, and I'm really happy, and it was a long season, but it was fun and it was worth it.
So great support coming from Carrie. There they are, look. There's his dad. And the team are happy with him too. Father and son, great support from all of the family. I wish they'd stop doing that. They walk away with the champagne. And we have a chat with Donny in the pits now.
Did you ever regret coming to Europe?
No. Never.
I mean, there's some American racers who say it's not worth to come over here. Do you have some words for them?
They're not in my shoes right now. I'm 2-time world champion. The people that are saying it probably are 4th and 5th in the 125 nationals or something. They don't know how I feel right now, so they can't judge. You know, I came over here. Maybe some people think it's second rate, but I'm #1 in the world. That's a title. It says it on my wall. It says 1992 250 world champion. Whether it's in Europe or America, you know, 30 years from now, it's going to say world champion on my wall.
Quite right too, and world champion he is, quite rightly so. Somebody took a bit of a flyer there at the start and got caught up in the start gate as we move off onto heat 3, and another good start. Now, let's have a look at the situation. Forget the World Championship now. We know who's won that. The other positions in the World Championship are still up for grabs, of course. And it's people like Bobby Moore, Alexandra Poussard, Everton Parker, even Rob Herring. Now, Rob Herring is looking for his first Grand Prix overall win. Willy van Vessel is not going to get a win. So let's have a look and see. Edwin Evertson wins that one ahead of James Dobb in 2nd position. But because of the relative positions, it means that the overall result, Rob Herring is out there in front. Absolutely excellent, and he's 6th in the World Championships. James Dobb is 10th in the World Championships now. We take a break.